Hello, Gunner James 105. The last video I did was the Enfield wood and pieces necessary to restore one of the two sporters that I had. And that project was going to take me who knows how long, and because I'd not done it before on a No.1 Mark III, so I wasn't sure when I was going to be making this, but I am ready. Actually, I was ready a few days ago, I thought, and then took a look at things that just weren't quite up to snuff, and had the rifle apart, back together, apart, back together, a little more of the fitting of this and fitting of that until I was happy. I don't know if I'm still totally happy, but it's pretty good, and I'm pretty pleased with how the project went. The rifle I will show you is this one here that looks nothing like its former self, and I'm going to I'll get it on the table, and we'll go through some things that I had done, how I got to where I am now with this. So one of the things that's kind of amazing about this rifle is that it was May of 1918 that it was built. That's what is stamped on the barrel, and the barrel serial number matches the receiver. So the fact that next month is May 2018, that will be the 100th birthday for this rifle, and it's kind of fitting that it was built then, went through whatever it went through. We have no idea what the history of this rifle is, and at some point then was sporterized for your hunter, Canadian hunter. That's where this ended up. And then now, just because I happened to be in the right place at the right time and found this wood that was my daughter and son-in-law's birthday present, the wood and all the pieces I needed to put this back together to original configuration, or as close as I can get. And so on its 100th birthday, it'll be ready to look like it did back when it was first made. So that was one of the things that I thought was pretty cool. And so this build, there's a fella that he still has his channel, and it's Accurizing Enfields, and he has I'm not sure how many videos, if he even totals 10, but they're very, very excellent videos, and I learned a lot from those. And this is where I had gone through on this rifle and made sure that I had things fitting as well as he suggested, because for shooting accuracy, these things are important. So I'm going to switch from me to the table and go through some things that, like I said, that make this thing what I think is a pretty good. It's not finished. There's a few items I still need to find for it, but this is how it looks so far. So hang tight. So you'll have to go back to my previous video, and then you'll see that the chosen rifle, there were two there. These are the pieces I don't need anymore. I suppose if I came across another sporter that didn't have a good stock, I could put this on it, but this is the old stock removed, and so I'll set that aside. I did mention in the last video that it is correct for some of these to have the wood plug as opposed to a brass, or just to have a drawn circle or the brass piece in there. So that's no longer needed, so I'll set that aside. This, just off the top, the sling is borrowed off of another Enfield that I have. Actually, it's off number 5, and I'm going to be looking for another one of these, maybe not Blanco, just the original tan color, so I'll pick one of those up somewhere. An oil bottle, a brass oil bottle I'd like to get, and I've already got a pull-through for it, so I'll just begin with, or just carry on with what I was still looking for. This stock, from what I can tell from its markings, would be, and I believe it's And as I say, I'm not trying to make something to be passed off as an original. I'm trying to make it look as close to original as possible, like I would if I had a 55 Chevy. I might have to buy new old stock, or I'd have to scrounge around. It's not original parts, but it will look like the original. So this would be a Lithgow stock, from what I can tell, and I think if I remember the date, there was even a date of 42 on here. So, but that's okay. What I did want to do is replace this this sight protector, these ears here, and I had this. This is my Siamese Enfield, and you can see the difference on that. So that's that would be more correct for this 1918 rifle that I've got. So I want to pick one of those up and replace this one here with just the two straight up ears. And then the other thing I'm missing is the stacking or piling swivel that would go on the front here, so I'll need that and a screw, and that'll finish that off. And I think that's all I'm really lacking. I was checking on things and trying to find out things, and as far as this floor plate and that type of little pin there, again I'm trying to avoid these shadows, would be correct for this model. From what I understand, it's just the a cover for the breech would tie on to that. Oh, well, there's something else. I guess I need a cover for the breech. The rifle and its operation, the bolt, everything is just as smooth as can be. Everything just moves so nicely. The magazine, it'll just drop right out of there by pulling the release. So it's all very very smooth, and as I said, the bore and everything just beautiful. And the markings again on this one, and I hope it's focused for you. So putting this together, one could not just put it together without some sanding. And what I had learned was the this area in here. So when I follow with the camera from, well, actually this here, we want to have that gap, or a gap there. So that's necessary, and I've got that. And then the top and bottom handguard, there needs to be no space in between the two, and you would check that by just taking a regular piece of paper and trying to slide a piece of paper into that. So I kind of killed two birds with one stone, because there was no way that this front band was going on. It was not going to go on because of the height of this upper guard, and the nose cap absolutely would not go on because this was all sitting quite high. So with a flat surface and some sandpaper, I made sure that this lower was flat. So I had just slid the pieces on top of the sandpaper, sand that down, and then the upper I had to take off a bit. And so now I've got that gap nice and tight and even, nice and straight, and I can put this on or take this off, no problem at all, just by undoing that other screw. The with the sling on, it's quite tight, but initially this wouldn't pivot. Now it pivots really freely, like so. So, well, not as bad as this. This one's wore right out. And so that was one of the items I had to deal with. And then you want to have, and again, I'm crediting the Accurizing Enfield's channel, because he's pointed out that the space in here, so if I get myself, where am I here? There. So the wood that follows around here and then the other side of this sight, there needs to be a gap there as well. You don't want to have that wood touching the sight at all. So I've got that. And here now, it was advised that this piece fit right flat against there, and if you need to build that up with epoxy or whatever, but it was again, where the piece of paper does not go in between there. So I've done that and got that really nice and snug, so it just fits like a glove right in there. This here I had to put a spacer in. I had to put a spacer in just in here because the way these are built, there's a notch at the back of here. That's why you can't just go and turn this bolt that's in here. You can't just turn that bolt to take this off, because that bolt has a square head on it that fits into a slot in here. So if you turn that bolt, you'll crack that stock. So what I had to do when I tightened this, it would tighten and then turn past the point of being square to go into that slot. And so if I backed it off a bit so it would fit in the slot, then this would be loose. So I put a spacer in there, and now I was able to tighten till it was square and good and snug. So this is held on real good. And some of the other things to check, there was another item that had to do with the this floor plate. And so I put a spacer just with some cardboard, very, very thin cardboard that you get like from a cereal box, and a couple of strips just at the base. So that would be just down where this rests, the bottom here, and then put that in so that when I went to tighten this screw, this actually, the plate actually sat up a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch. So you would have tension on that. So you tighten that screw in and then you'd have tension. So that floor plate is nice and solid. And then other than 2 coats of the boiled linseed oil, I'll probably end up doing a few more, but took just a little steel wool on that brass butt plate. And so, these swivels came with the my birthday present. And so I'm going to give you some, I guess, run down the rifle here with the camera and give you a closer view of things. Very, very happy with the way this turned out. And haven't shot it yet. So that, and yeah, the nose cap just goes on very, very nice now. It just fits perfectly. There's no pounding into place, and it's not loose at all. So the other side then, and the safety, just a nice positive click. Safety works real good on it. So as I cruise down the rifle, again, it looks so much better than its former sporter version. And yeah, that was the other one there that I initially had thought I'd use, but if you look at the last video, you'll see why I didn't choose this one. And then of course this old Siamese one I've done a video on as well, and that's the stacking or piling swivel that I need for this rifle. And as far as that sight is concerned, that was something that I did order up. Where am I? So this arrived today. This is the correct back piece for this rifle, and so I installed that today. So I was kind of waiting until that arrived because it had a World War II style on there, and so that's now changed. But yeah, so I guess next stop is the range. Not sure when that's going to be. Winter doesn't seem to want to end in my part of the world, but going across the top. And so there she be. And as I mentioned in the last video, the bayonet, which, well, I don't think I'm going to try and put that on there, but it was just kind of nice how that wood all matched. So hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.